discussions no na fe topics no ya share the betimi edi ho enkomo innocent bako de
nyame adom
eja you share say na say the weekend and senti no last weekend na be si week nwe kwesen
nyame adom ahode ho that is the most important
anyway week here na ma bebresi obi kan a lot has happened nti ye beto ye bona ya hwe ni nyina so yetimi edi ho nkomo yie na ye be sha ase e de free Tamale High Court ruling a buyer from for Kpandi rerun. I think I know last week I discussed it. The minority protest or more ye who the call so chamber ho that was on Tuesday. Distract say government business any the NRA and Electoral Commission date of 30th December say or mobile court rerun okay kanina
yeah my mencha na mencha what here for no pay na menka say on this particular subject on Kpandi a lot of discussions akoswa I think yes it's good say you try to situate some of the nearby akoso during our elections in a context going forward nebetimi aboayen kodabia meka we may have elections today. Misunderstandings may pop up, but the ultimate outcome, no party back winning, we try to overlook it because and this are when you're majority, so let's move on. But what if the same mistake occasion in a very tight elections? I know the day, so one is the reason why some of these things are very critical, and I think SEA use as basis to rewrite the mistakes in our electoral process and going forward, some of these things will not happen. Yeah, when I know how over sorry, I say Benin, cool asi, Guinea Bissau, cool asi, and yes, I people who have consistently become so much frustrated about the raptures of government and the way the machinery of government and the running our minimum. For that matter, and people feel so the only way I was able to take a pound of flesh is to just engage in some of these things. Say about a two abiding fruits by force. Because you can't say you go through fair foul means. So let us have it our way. And some of these things, and I say serve as a lesson for us as Ghana. The torchbearer when it comes to democracy and democratic practices over the years. I'm free honor. You lead the way properly. Sebaya, you bet me set a good example. Now, I'm for her. It is in that particular note, and I'm free said this particular way, very important because this elections here, because you better not have say 2020 elections, 2024 election were frauded with a lot of infractions, a lot of electoral commission here near Mabia Sebi. So in Ghana for us, yet democracy as an yeti a Huasia, Ebi and Nissan Kieti Hanka, Casa from Jimmy. But yet to about the people free say as a court. No, Nippon are dissatisfied with the election in the court. Echo catch the court to say. Nearman of course during the elections, a flout to all the electoral rules. And the person was able to adduce evidence convincing to the court. And a court to the MPP's contention has always been so NDC for course 44 polling stations and or more and and about the court and declare the whole way. Say, because I said, a total falsehood. And unfortunately, that is the propaganda circular that has been distributed to all MPP communicators on various platforms. There was a time I was on a platform. Almost everybody was speaking to that particular propagandist circular that has been given to them. And in the they are not even ready to think outside the scope to even ask questions. Say, why would the court do this? Because if nothing at all, so obiko court now say or seeking relief from a court wa. Obeka catch the court and say me relief or me seeking here. Now also no any relief bia who free say may entitled to based on because court in the opportunity to examine all the critical fact, all the evidence, everything. The court will be in a no. And after doing this extensive analysis of all the evidence, whatever you think I'm entitled, give it to me. And even in this particular case, it wasn't like that. Some of the specific relief and NDC, ACK, this particular way, no, they asked for the annulment of the entire election because they were convinced that the entire electoral way, no, were fraughted with your friends said malfeasances and whole lot of. And the court, after examining everything, came to a conclusion. Said no, the electoral rules, you know, you're flouting, no. And it got to some of the argument was that even the BVD machines now most of them were even tampered with. So there were enough evidence. I go court to any way to imagine so I said the my elections the mon corner mon cotton of fraud. And I think that you may disagree with the ruling because all of us have our own this thing when court ruling as a for but the way you take it, that is why the last time I told you said the man MPP candidate now Olu declared the seat vacant, you know. Yeah. He has proven to be a gentleman because I would say in the castle, who had a total different from the party Afenyo Markin in for Adano. And this is a gentleman who tells us that if this is what the court is saying, you know, fine, I'm going for appeal, and if possible, we can go and have the election. Yeah. He has confidence in himself that even if the election is conducted today, he will get the seat back. Yeah. And for me, that is a gentleman's concession. I think that we need to give him that particular credit. And Yen contrasted that form, that belligerent, arrogant posturing that the MPP and Afenyo Markin and co have taken in Parliament. My catcher said, I don't waste time watching proceedings in Parliament. And see me who videos and on social media as usual, embarrassing themselves as they always do. But the question is that, says Speaker, the day Nana people were expecting the speaker to rule on the matter and pronounce that the man should go home. Yeah. Speaker didn't. He allowed him to stay. And then subsequent day, the man has made a declaration. He said, no, going forward, you are no longer part of us. Let us go and have elections. Appeal now, then we will welcome you back. But as it stands now, per the court ruling, this is the state of play because we have been mandated as Parliament to ensure that Electoral Commission within 30 days, will make preparation for elections. We are all guided by law. The Speaker of Parliament cannot use his discretion and say, no. We are all bounded by the same law, then and so forth. And that is exactly what he has done. But you see, he who comes into equity must come with clean hands. Equity is very, very important, yeah? Yet to come her, and a court of competent jurisdiction declared Jachi question say, or declare a persona non grata our Parliament. Jachi question was declared persona non grata our Parliament. Ya pamu if you what says our chroma for a standard period of time. At that time, the minority speaking today did not find anything legally, constitutionally, morally, politically wrong with that decision. The man was asked to sit home for several months. And sana the time man appeal no cost now he has been called to say man Parliament was he allowed to go to Parliament? No. He's at home. So I just want to do fair, reasonable analysis of situations so that the reasonable neutral person out there what will be his view about the state of play. Because if it has happened, this is not a novelty. Yeah. This is not something I've been AC or Parliament. In a recent past, an example. Jachi question is a classic example of this particular development. Yaman Kotina if you're to about where the seat no back. And court to say elections now MP we have invalidated that particular election. So you are no longer an MP unless the status quo no change. And as it stands now, that status quo ain't changing yet. So you are just like any ordinary person on the street, and you cannot walk into Parliament. And until that is done, you have no locus. So what is the fuss about this whole thing in the Nearman and the course of Parliament? And again, Afenyo Markin did a press conference and told the whole world, said the court in Ghana has become a kangaroo court. And I think say these are jokers who should not be given a hearing. And now this gentleman has the audacity to stand in front of cameras and tell the people of this country, say, the court of Ghana is a kangaroo court. Recently, when everybody was much concerned about the credibility of the institution called the Judicial in this country, because he was an abject beneficiary of the excesses of the court, he was the only person to get the Supreme Court to sit on Friday, a day before, less than 12 hours. The Chief Justice empaneled Supreme Court judges to sit on his case. For that particular Adiana is, not a kangaroo court. Yet a failed parliamentary candidate, our whole central, will be our contestant on the ticket of a political party. Yakofada man be a judge. Ewo Chroma say against everybody. Now ya me say Oko High Court to kwada we be ho. MPP or more legal team advisors in Nasa Forum Yinano. They have been appointed as judges. Ewo High Court. Akufo-Addo appointed almost 59 to 60 judges. Our High Court. Now appeals court today and other way. So Yakasa Obi has deliberately packed the court. The kangaroo court started in front, but because you are not a person of conviction, you didn't get the sense, and common sense did not provoke you to come to the realization. Say at that time, say kangaroo court you started the kangaroo court. And we got to a time, courts were giving ruling that were so nonsensical to the sense that even the ordinary person could not understand. Your friend is saying some of the rulings are not about saying because they were devoid of logic, they were devoid of reasoning, common sense, and the whole Ghana on social media pounced on the judiciary because people felt that they were giving rulings that were deemed very stupid and very foolish. This is the highest court of the land. Giving ruling, and the ordinary person think that this is a stupid decision. This is a stupid ruling. It was all about on social media. How come they were giving unanimous 11, unanimous that? Because it tells you the frustration, and you must be sick to say, me na mayor judge, me na mayor lawyer, and the opinions and the perceptions of the people should be discounted because I'm call law school. Oh, but you could see law to protect society. The whole essence of law is to ensure societal cohesion and tranquility. That is the whole essence of law. And this is a my judgment. Now your judgment is seeking to disintegrate society. Who you are for? What are some Americans say? So they are rather exposing and ridiculing themselves, telling the people who they are. Because if favor or not, that's okay. Yes, a massa. But if it goes against you, then somebody is running a kangaroo court. But the kangaroo court to go chroma, Akufo-Addo built the foundation on the sea dynasty, so on the painty ye bibia, as some convenient goom. And did a kangaroo court now, Mosati, and Nona. Jamahama by a Menyas High Court, Nipa doesn't order Mako. Now, Nipa bear few people, but a larger basin were there already. So Obi ran a kangaroo court. Now rulings are Basiako Kroma Yankayana. Yet the Kroma is a birth certificate and me new one dances away a Ghanaian. Now Ghana card, everything do or passport, a traveling document and make me do one dance here. And numerous silly decisions fly in the face of logic in this particular country. And people were is the reason why Ghana became so much disappointed in our judiciary to the sense that we needed a reset. So when John Mahama was coming, some of us, our call and our appeal to him, they say, if nothing at all, judiciary they are making sure say we will sanitize the judiciary. Lo and behold, a Ghanaian who felt dissatisfied with the ruptures of the court, not only the activities, the actions and the inactions of the Chief Justice, submitted a petition, and at the end of the day, her incompetence became revealing, and she has been deposed. She's sitting home today. You understand? And I have always argued, say, there are remnants of such traits still remain in the judiciary. We need to flush all of them out, just like Wakwana or flash it or close it. We need to just flush them out because their continuous stay it tainted the credibility of the judiciary. So I think Afenyo Markin should just shut up. And he's just embarrassing. Now, no, make actually be say, we opposition your job is to convince average reasonable person out there. But if we are a political leader and you only appeal to foot soldiers, then you should know, sir, you are not making any headway because the foot soldiers are already your core supporters. But if you are not winning any new, you are converting new souls, it means that you are causing damage to yourself. And if you look at the posturing, the belligerent posturing, the attitude, you are not on planning and so forth. Or on Kasakra seats in it's questionable. What I said. And with this attitude, now make actually be say, I can confidently say, say MPP a very responsible party. No matter what you say, normal politics, reasonable politics. I use numbers for something sensible. I can confidently say, and NDC be wave with this particular seat. Yeah. But with this attitude, because politics consensus is also part of it. Exactly. How you argue with the other side just to ensure, say, you bargain and get your way in and so for them. They are all part. But they are sitting on high horses, very arrogant, so despicable. And now I can one platform be say in anywhere. Oko mind be your government, abaya, I give you party, I give you birth to a buying. And I have opposition party. At any point in time in any country, there was good relationship with the people at a time I had opposition. Because abiding what power no, you'll be taking certain decisions that will go against even your own people. Because your Mahama by even appointment crop over here we no one can sign a party for the Brimo film because Obi expects Obenya be when ya entino or exactly. Entino, we are incumbent. You are bound to do a lot of mistakes, you understand? But opposition, you know, one will bring everybody together. And you become a voice, you are seen as a representation of the people. But in this particular case, it is directly opposite. The John Mahama government is in sync with the people of this country more than the opposition. Because the opposition is sitting on high horses, playing arrogant game of arrogance. And then I say for them. And so for me, I think they are all digging their own grave. And it's unfortunate they cannot see this. Now no kufo baby didn't ever told so. No lament the state. It's sad and very sickening to sit as a former president to see a party one kasa we dear nimu to degenerate into the state. And the MPP are now so attractive in this country. And you can't even wear MPP t-shirt and cross the street because we have a show to party and I see a grand as intellectuals because they don't even know their left from their right. They think politics is all about causing sin, causing distraction, and then as a forum. So for me, I think that they are not helping anybody. When they are in power, they destroy. When they are in opposition, they become saboteurs. That is the core benchmark of the MPP as a political party. And for me, Ghana for amateur, I evolve for politics, I grow, ye 1992 BM, and I 1990 BM, where you could sway your friends say a man for based on emotion, tribal sentiment, and those kind of BM. It is about 2 minutes no. Then I would then I would say a man for 2 money no more have more born in Abrabo, born near Kufu, the boy, and arrogance, their cause. It is still fresh on the minds of the people of this country. So they are all rather a man for before the more. So this is the time for you to set up Parliament now, numbers, how constructively are you using the numbers? The day some people were fooling in Parliament, Do you know that day, your first a minority, your first government wanted the budget to be approved. Yeah. The interesting thing is that because of what they did not even sit to go through the various approvals. And the government had it through. And for me, we are government, because the opposition is so irresponsible to the sense that the core job that they were supposed to do, they were not there to look at it. They were making noise, raising unnecessary way, while government businesses was running on the sidelines. All the appropriations now go through, there is nothing that you can do about it. But don't you think that who your oppositioner, your role as an opposition, what failing Ghana for? Because people are expecting you to subject that particular thing to critical scrutiny. That is the job of an opposition. But what transforms into your friends unruly sort of saboteurs. And all that you can do is to cause distraction, raise alarm, play on people's emotions. And I'm saying this emotional aspect of politics, you cannot convince people, you cannot win souls or political souls with this kind of unwitty kind of make your point. Criticize the government where possible. I work with Nema, but yes, the baby be any at so. Pandai issue no a court na kodi na sem. Enti now your basis is to attack the court. The question is there be na wugina so a court na na de o attack no. Jache question ye ka so court na fie na na nya kangaroo court. Parliament ye pam no furo na nya kangaroo court. Yet here electoral commission ne aban ne etia no mo di ndemahunu to the sense president ye de bill akoto na nim so onsan o se onsan. Ye use court to prolong issue na me to aba wie ye. Eno de na enye ye first kangaroo court. yet Hana Afenyo Markin ya so a speaker the call parliament a call court her kwan e fa so ye di asem okroma at some point it a speaker bufu here the main case no kwa wanko that is a kangaroo court for you amanfo ye demonstration e wo kroma on Galamsey ni and other guys her kwan e fa so ye so omkogu ye fan say prison bail kwan ya say mu bi court so omo mu bail omunku nipa nya hwe o ye ka kangaroo court and that was kangaroo court. So I think they should just shut up. They have nothing sensible to say. They should give us a break and let things play. Now Ghana for we are reasonable to fact check the government and make sure that it does the right thing. The government will continue to do because my catch man for say ya kasa aban bi aban papa enya aban papa dey on your mistake oh nipa bia your mistake aban we are saying we your mistake but the question is we your mistake now how do you take it from there and then the man we are buying for instance this lithium deal here ba so Ghana for do na kasa odabi yempe yenye say aban na say den exactly that is what you do. Abayne say, I am going to do consultation, listen to Ghanaians because mona mudi to me no mame. Maybe there from where I sit, you know, baby as Abayne me free say nkebeboa, but say na Ghana for na lithium no yamudi no se mo kan dia and hey majai le nyina enhia, let's have a discussion. That is what the responsible government do. Yati kroma say, yeah. Aban kasa oye bibia wona hwan so bokoko bie no akwakoka. Yamwa ye bechew. But Aban betimia ateki a full stop, stop. So, okay, fine, let's pause. For me, that is very phenomenal. And when I listen to people doing this lithium analysis and so forth, they circumvent around this critical fact. Because that is a hallmark of a good government, of a good governance. Okay, people are complaining. Let's pause. Let's dialogue. Let us engage and come to a resolution and move on. That is governance. In the past, we never had this chance. Because when PDS was brought into this country to come and take over ECG, there was a nationwide outcry. But the government never listened to anybody. They went ahead with it. And several DDP and so forth. So the difference, you know, is quite wide. So I think that Afenyo Markin and his people should come down where they are saying, cup of common sense and begin to learn how to govern, but not how not to govern. I am not saying that John Mahama is a perfect person, he's a human being, but so far, I am sure, so what's not saying, and then now your comparative analysis where Ghana was at the time and where Ghana is today, yeah, there is no reasonable person, changes agency will come and say, I didn't know we need their worker. What are some Americans? So I think that is what they do best. Rattling, noise making, they should go ahead with it. And if that is, they think that is what is going to win them power in 2028. But unfortunately, the foot soldiers in the party don't realize some of these things. And they think there are people who go to parliament to do some of this funny stuff, you know, and they are heroes. Yes, you will get the standing ovation from your foot soldiers, but you will never be able to convince any sensible person and Ghana has a to win an election, you need the reasonable minds in the middle. I can't say NDC any core supporters a bit me man when election will chroma. It can never happen. MPP any core supporters. It is always the floating voters in the middle. And the floating voters are the average Ghanaians, very reasonable people. They are the people you should target and appeal to. But all that you do is to infuriate these people, to cause some sort of opprobrium, then as a former, you think anybody will take it serious. So I think they should just sit down and sit up properly.
Okay. You have to also now, more yes, internet and be able to. Now, also be cross my personal message. You say we are off from Facebook, but internet issues, right? More far and chain. And now, peace council, any president, Asia, Jubilee House. Near my baby, so peace council say, Omuhiaska. Omuhia support or multimedia funny baby across the regions. Now, multimedia ye juma. Na Omuhia salaries so bit me, Ama Omojuma no Akoye, and Afenyo. As my president Ekasafa OSP office, and I say the Ghana for any abri say yes, one scrappy when you see, say a premature because Attorney General is seen as a political appointee in Kawasha OSP no na yet. Independent person or no so prosecution powers to bet me prosecute corrupt officials. And see, no so who come echo so Jubilee House and
remove I don't want to say premature.
President.
Okay. So I think the special prosecutor office in Canada. Yeah, President actually not doing, but I think the power lies with the people of this country because but who say Matisse you see 2 members of parliament as submitted a private member bill. So we see that is the beauty of democracy. The president disagrees, but other people also disagree. So that disagree. Or the bill just to make that particular way. For me, I think it's appropriate. Yeah, because you see. I started from Peace Council and I started from where? Peace Council almost pay their more members salary. Because I'm a consumer, I cannot interest so I will fund to know the young kind special prosecutor.
Oh, I can't want to
I do my no more Munti Moka.
That's it, yeah. Peace Council, National Peace Council. Omubuama should be able to one.
Yeah, when I become a special prosecutor, I just an a power metal bomb. And the office of the special prosecutor said a Mexicano. So we see a variety of conversation even across the political divide. People within the NDC and the MPP have all come to one conclusion: say the office of the special prosecutor no any useful. Office Nankasa says Sihono, and for so be any so. And I listened to the speaker who said, sir, on also supported the call to scrap it. One of the MPP Council of Elders also made the same comment, sir, on free said the office of the special prosecutor. And you see, and I make say, Nema, you're moving more yet why you know, maybe I just could jab or science so and son of one. Because as we are working, I said it 2017 on Radio Universe when this particular bill was introduced. Say office no faso bi ani so en kofa de papa bi amba until date some of us are vindicated because ya maka just fight corruption and yes ma set up office so a political will on your part just to ensure say kakra na e ho no de be ya adwuma but abanya onu nya ready so be fight corruption na kofa special prosecutor besi ho just to add it to the number so that in writing you say oh he added an institution and that will be his credit. But the job that they did, because when you set up an institution, the presumption is that they are fighting corruption. But when in reality, the office was set up to promote corruption, to protect corrupt individuals, to safeguard the entity. And that's exactly what happened. So for me, it's good to say, barely after 8 years after, most Ghanaians and Afenyo Ghana for who said who he said office of the special prosecutor neighbor year through. I think that is good and I support it and I like it when that particular bill is submitted because I think that what we need to do now the Biamekan and I don't even need to repeat it and say the Attorney General and the Ministry of Justice, yen try na yen separate it. The government can try to find a neutral person hopefully so taking issues of prosecution now on famano on resources across the country, all the regions in Nasaphonia, robust, effective AG offices. I know they exist, but how effective are they? Have they been able to prosecute cases in Nasaphonia? I think we need to resource them and transform them into a viable entities. Able to take issues of some of these things. And even within Ukraine, we can even allocate them to various cases for prosecution, political corruption, economic, whatever. We can do all these things just to ensure, say, there is speed and there is this certainty and clarity on the minds of Ghanaians. Institutions or issues no bad, they will take it up. What I say? See, to me, yes, I never a bit my confidence I return it. Now, what we say, I didn't see a special prosecutor, yawo Yoko. Your BNI, your all these security agency institutions with prosecutorial powers in the but still trust and confidence in the people in the fight against corruption is still shaky. What is that question? It tells you that some institutions when you go paper so keke. And if you come in, the special prosecutor, unfortunately, no, my culture say I'm told he's a good lecturer, but emotionally he's not matured. He's emotionally very unintelligent in his dealings, and a personal sentiment and personal feeling very often goes into the things that he does. One of I and the brush we have been saying, Martin Pebu, that was needless, that was highly not sensible kind of an option that he should have exploited. Because you see, so be a kiziwa, and you wanna nipa because the sensitive officer we know, you can refer him to either Yoko or the CID to call him and investigate. Na nipa no so ye krom for what's a brana me investigate you or by our say what this soja ni atementi na soja ni no hwan. What kind of nonsense is this? President to cross here kunja so man for cassette no president say what this soja ni atem. So we see it tells you say he's an emotional baby. And for me, I think that emotional crybabies should not be allowed to handle such sensitive offices. Even though we are calling for the scrap. Nemana or yen further denigrate and it's out to yamu problem about the office. So for me, I think that it's long overdue. President say is early. Yes, I understand because why he's sitting as president, or yana say oh take it out special prosecutor. Among for cancer, he doesn't want to fight corruption. So this is not the job of the president. It's the job of us, the people, and it's the reason why some people in parliament have triggered the process. Ekotona nima, se Ghana for your process in we are ekotona nima, you have no other option than to assent to it. And I think that was a smart move by the president. Only the huvrim. Let us deal with it. And I think that we have enough forces and enough way to handle this. Because across the political divide, there seems to be some consensus that it's a useless office. Because the intention was to witch hunt the NDC because Martin Amidu then was better. You're exploiting the anger, you're exploiting the frustration against the NDC because he was then criticizing the Mills government. And you know, Saloga has, you know, you're exploiting a young fan chase you more. That particular agenda didn't go through, and then they became frustrated, and the team backfired. Because when Martin started chasing them, that is when Kenneth Fureta started paying him visit midnight, and then as a foreigner trying to convince him, then the explosion came. And so that time, basically, the Cecilia Park case was one of the high-profile cases, and they expected a special prosecutor to give us a closure. Yeah, what I say? I mean, that be a mechanic. Adeba kwa Emma Maninji sa special prosecutor no kra ho say adeba kwa manfo hu yen say sa plea bargaining act sa act 1079 abaye kan ho asem. It started with the special prosecutor. If you take the special prosecutor act, that is 959 section 71 of that particular act, go and look. There is a high provision for plea bargaining. You negotiate with criminals. It is in that particular act. It has been there since 2017. So, plea bargaining act now about 2022. No, and new. It has been with us in the that is why the last time we spent Abranton or Casamas Kiseja Mbakacho said, Unim Sika Yajeje. Meaning, what is our comment that Unim Sika Yasevu? Because section 71 of the act, you know, allowed them to do this kind of restitution, reparations, and your friends say pay, negotiate, and go your way. It has been there, and this is one key thing. And they will share one will be so more. I saw quite a 5,000 crowd jiska. Because the modalities for such negotiations, so I think that that office and I am once and I set it up. Because how can you say the office your friends are independent bank? When the AG has overriding authority and the Constitution gives absolute power to the AG, you cannot set an institution about violate your friends in the AG unless you make amendment in our laws. You understand? Whichever institution be able set it up, say fighting corruption be one way or the other, no, will be superseded by the constitutional influence and power conferred on the AG. You cannot operate in a vacuum. You understand? So some of these things, you know, should have told us, Office of the Special Prosecutor can never be independent as it was bandied around by the Akufo-Addo at the time it was being introduced. So yeah, for me, we've come to a consensus. Office of the Special Prosecutor is a useless creation, a further burden on the taxpayer. Now, one of their justifications is, there has been 21 events, assassination attempt on the... Now, President Akufo-Addo can't know about mine, assassination by the corner. So we see, I'm more concerned no more, you know, because they are when they are no, will be assassinated for them. They are no, one watching. Among for more proper prosecution, people are not attempting to prosecute them. NDC bar power. Nipa watching it in terms of some of these things. Papa your friend is saying. Yoko, your friend is saying. No, Yoko boss, no. I'm not friend is saying. Remonacha. Now Remonacha Bakacho will be assassinated. Remonacha crown and Krum will be assassinated. Now special prosecutor. Yes, now special prosecutor. Coco crown for Coco court. Wouldn't soldier for them, I'm saying. And not young cut bulletproof man. You see, they are jokers. I think that they've outlived their essence and usefulness. We just need to flash them because going forward, my culture says, Sika everybody in Semunu Kromano. You're making sure say you are aligning and you reallocate such money to productive ventures where young people have economic independence and freedom. Because anywhere in the world you see mounting rate of youth unemployment, it threatens your cohesion, it threatens national security, it threatens everything. So as government, one of the fundamental reasons to ensure say we take away the issues and the problem, the burden of youth unemployment from your country. And for me, realign some of these monies into productive ventures, but me achieve that particular thing. And you say at Kromana one day, or you know, you say, womb. Let us not sit here and fully convince ourselves because coup air running around the corridors, we are immune or isolated. No. Sometimes, the conditions for coup may not be fertile in Ghana, but what is happening, could be a domineering influence that will cave into this country. It happens because when this thing, Arab Spring started, it started in Tunisia. Morocco felt they didn't have a problem. Middle East never thought it will ever go there. But when it becomes a phenomenon, among for adopted it. Oh, yes, sometimes the conditions may not be present, but you feel like yes, because the conditions are not different. So if you're not careful, happening around the corridors and our borders, the propensity that it may cave in is very high. Is the reason why like you make hay while sometime and you don't wait for the trouble day to come. Some of this initiative now once again build the confidence in state institutions, and prosecution is one key thing Ghanaians say in 2028 election is going to be the major highlight as to how many people you were able to prosecute, were you able to recover our money, because the entire 2024 campaign was done on the premise that certain thieves stole our money. And we want recovery. We want to see them in jail. We want to recover our money and send loud message to people out there say, you cannot steal from the state and walk free. These criminals should not have a safe haven. They should not hide anywhere. We must chase them even in their graves. Even if they die, we need to make them answer for their crimes. That brings me back to the arena where Kenoforata is in. Where Afenyo Markin and his people making unnecessary noise in Parliament, they don't feel ashamed. So the whole finance minister of a government you were part, that is a the whole finance minister like a chicken hiding in somebody's country. You don't feel ashamed. And these people have the audacity today to come back to us and complain and make suggestions. What suggestions? If you have any reasonable suggestion, go and suggest to your man who was running away like a chicken to come back to this country and answer for his crimes. What I say? And because they have no sense of shame, they don't realize even the historical consequences and the impact of some of this runaway away. Because in the future, if Kenoforata doesn't return to this country and he dies somewhere,